Whether you're selling a car or pitching a business idea, the lead-in definitely matters. Not sure? Just watch Dragon's Den and see how the entrepreneurs launch their spiels. Chris Nelson has learned a great deal about setting things up in a positive light through life experience, including homelessness, single parenthood, rejection, and more. As a speaker, you start out with an advantage. Someone else is introducing you, setting you up for success, and the benefits are significant. You have only to take advantage of them. Tonight, Chris will share with us why that's important and how to make it happen. Chris Nelson, what's the big deal about introductions? What's the big deal about introductions? Chris Nelson.
You have
and Chris,
7
5 to 7 minutes?
Yes. You have 7 seconds to get your audience's attention. Time Magazine in 2015 did a survey that discovered that. What you do with that 7 seconds matters a lot. And when you're being introduced, you have a gift-wrapped opportunity to make the most of that first 7 seconds without having to blather on about how wonderful you are. Let's look at some examples. Mr. Toastmaster, you did a fabulous job of introducing me exactly as I intended. That's not always the case, though. Let's look at a bad example. Joe's a great guy. He's been a member of our club for about 6 months now, and he's been learning a lot and really doing a great job improving. Joe's going to talk to us about dogs. Take it, Joe. How well is Joe really set up for that? He's friendly. He probably feels welcome, but it hasn't done what an introduction really wants to do. Let's look at a more professional example. Lorna Weston Smith is a leadership and mindset executive coach who brings her years as a serial entrepreneur to businesses and professionals to help them grow to the next level. For some, that's an issue of being stuck in their own leadership or self-leadership, unable to make a commitment and follow through with themselves, or unable to lead their teams to where they want to go. For others, it's been unlocking a limiting belief that's holding them back. What she does is help people unlock their potential. Lorna has been an active member and on the board of a number of organizations, from Toastmasters to the Whitby Chamber to the BNI, Business and Professional Women Organization, and Durham Workforce Authority. Today, she'll be sharing with us about intentional living and planning your life choices for greater impact. Which introduction really set up the speaker? Which introduction let you know what the speaker was going to talk about, who they were, and why we want to listen to them? Because that's the important thing in an introduction. An introduction is what creates a connection between the audience, the topic, and the speaker. Sometimes we're privileged to speak to audiences who are known. That's great. But often we don't, and often the audience doesn't know our topic. And so an ideal introduction will give us those facts. Who is the speaker? Why are they an authority on this topic? And why is this topic relevant to the audience? When you look at an introduction, those are the 3 key factors to have in your content. We all want to know what those answers are. And those answers want to be something that really sets up the speaker's credibility. It's great if I tell you that I'm good at A, B, C, and D, but it's even better if the person introducing me tells you so, because as humans, we're just that little bit more likely to believe something that's told to us by an ideally unbiased third party. It sets that stage. It also means that you don't look like a braggart by saying, I have all these credentials, I have all these awards. Let someone else say it for you. Let them set the stage. If you're doing a speech of any kind that requires a specific setting, for example, pretend you're a child in a playground, pretend you're a person at a wedding. The person introducing you has the ability to do that through your introduction without taking away from your speech, and allows your speech to shine for what it is, and allows you to practice that exactly as you wanted. Those are the important things to have there. The length of an introduction also matters. Popular sources say this should be 10 to 15% of your speech length. But if you listened to what Neil said and thought, wow, that felt a little bit long, you might want to look at something a little bit less than 10% because that introduction is about 12% of my speech length. When you're online, having a very slightly shorter introduction isn't a bad thing unless your introduction keeps moving quickly and hard to hold your audience's attention, because the last thing you want to do is lose them before you get started. So what is important about having an introduction? Well, I can just get up here and talk. Everyone here knows me. But if I get up in front of an unfamiliar audience, no matter how compelling my first statement is, the likelihood that they're going to want to listen to me right off isn't necessarily large. The introduction gives me the opportunity to bridge that path to my audience. It creates a degree of welcome, which I might not have had otherwise. Having an introduction doesn't have to be difficult or challenging. Writing a standard introduction that includes 2 or 3 facts about yourself, 2 or 3 facts about the relevance of your topic, and something catchy at the beginning and end that's going to tie things through is something that every speaker should readily be able to do. At the end of the day, an introduction is a mini speech, just like impromptu speaking. It has a beginning, something that starts off, for example, so-and-so is a such and such, or something like, if you've ever been to. And the conclusion is also an obvious one. Neil did that perfectly when he simply provided my name and the title and my name completely. He didn't skip my last name. He didn't change the title slightly, paraphrase it, paraphrase my instruction or anything else. Because I wrote that with the intent that it would set up the speech. Those are ideal qualities in someone who's introducing you, because a professional speaker especially will typically set up their introduction in a way that's going to tie and lead into their speech appropriately. If you've ever been somewhere and had your introduction butchered, you've got a really clear idea of how that throws you off, but also how it throws off what you want to say and that connection with the audience. I want to leave you with a challenge. Writing an introduction isn't difficult, and there is no reason that everyone in this club shouldn't have one. Write yourself a standard, basic introduction. A few facts about yourself, something that ties to the type of thing you often speak about. Most of us have themes. And then have a couple of lines at the beginning and end, which can be changed or adjusted as needed. Practice using that introduction. And when you're the person introducing, practice doing so effectively with the introduction that's provided to you, as we've seen done today. One of the things that's often lacking in an environment that isn't necessarily professional is a proper introduction. That doesn't mean we can't practice them here, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Chris.